Color. How do black children develop a positive self-image in a society that's predominantly white? Dr. Margaret Beale Spencer is one of several researchers who has studied this. She shows pictures to black children ages 3 to 12, pictures of black and white characters. They have identical facial features, hair, and clothing. The only difference is skin color. Dr. Spencer asks the children to choose.
Najiba, I have a picture now of two girls, and everyone says that one girl is very pretty. Which is the pretty girl?
That.
Can you tell me why?
Because she has different skin, and I like the way she dresses.
Oh, okay. Point to the ugly girl for me. Can you tell me why she's the ugly girl?
Because everybody hits her and they don't like her.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Chandler, can you tell me which is the dirty boy? Can you tell me why?
Because he's not the same color he's supposed to be.
Oh, okay. All right. Come on and have a seat. Okay? Now, my research started 20 years ago, and here today in 1989, the stereotypes are still in place. Stereotypes which suggest that black people are very negative generally, not very bright, not very attractive, etc. And that whites are still all these very positive things and those things alone. Edmund, how are you today? It means for me that we have not come very far as a people. Okay, what's associated with the color white? In society, power.
I want you to buy 20,000 shares of Blue Star at 15 1/8, 3/8 tops.
Attractiveness. Black children watch more TV, unfortunately, than any other minority group. And they're bombarded, therefore, with all these fast-paced images, which for the most part leaves them invisible. They don't see themselves, and they're not even aware of it.
I love her beautiful hair.
Maxie's got the best hair.
Ooh, Maxie.
Which is the pretty girl?
The one on the right, most likely.
The one on the right, most likely. And why would you say that?
Well, to me, she has the prettiest hair.
For older children who are now at a point in their thinking that they understand that what they are saying is in conflict with how they feel about themselves, it's very difficult.
This is hard.
I didn't hear you.
This is hard.
Oh, it's hard? You can virtually see the anxiety on their faces.
I can't decide.
And it hurts. You know, as a researcher, as a mother, as a citizen in this country, it really hurts, you know, given where we claim we are as a nation. Okay, that's fine. Now, why is that one the dirty boy?
Because you can't tell whether he's dirty or not because he's black.
Black parents have the same task that all parents have in this country, to raise effective, competent, psychologically healthy children. I tell parents, when they buy those little books, get a 25-cent box of crayons and color those pictures, the hair and the skin, etc. And explain to children why they're doing it. Most often, the positive sense of self, it comes from the family, it comes from the church, it comes from the community.
Boys and girls, today we're going to play a game. It's a game about building a dream. Name 7 black leaders.
Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks.
Okay, let's do one at a time. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Frederick Douglass.
They need cultural values to help them deal with whatever they are struggling with at that moment. Point to the smart boy for me.
It would most likely be him.
Okay, now why is he the smart boy?
Because he looks very, very smart.
Point to the picture for me. Okay, very good. Now tell me, why is she the very pretty girl, Denise?
Because she's black and she's beautiful.
Because she's what?
She's black and she's beautiful.
My country.
we have a lot of work to do. And the first thing is to acknowledge that there are some serious problems. And the problem still surrounds the color of race and racism in this country.
6 years old and growing up in Chicago, I participated in the kind of experiment that I showed you at the beginning of this program. I was asked to choose between black dolls and white dolls. I chose the white doll. Perhaps it's understandable. It was 40 years ago. But in the 1960s, we proclaimed black is beautiful. So it came as a great shock to me that today, little black children are still choosing white images as nicer, prettier, and smarter. How can we as black people expect anyone to like us if we don't like ourselves? I decided as a mother to teach my 2 children to respect and love themselves.
Earlier, I talked to black men outside the Wabash building in Chicago who told me they were the targets of genocide. That fear is not new for us. Remember the slave ships, bondage, lynch mobs. Those were atrocities aimed at the destruction of our people. So it's understandable that the drug plague is seen as only the latest threat to black lives. But that threat extends beyond the inner cities. America must understand that when a black child is shot at the Wabash building, all of us are wounded. Young black men who place little value on their own lives are not likely to value the lives of anyone, black or white.
You know, in this very competitive world that we live in, racism really makes no sense. For racism means that America won't benefit from some of its best minds. And racism also means that some of America's best minds won't even try to succeed. There's a notion that white folks have done enough for black folks. But black people still remain the poorest and most segregated people in this land. So America, don't kid yourself. When it comes to black people, there's still a lot of unfinished business. Business that won't be completed until America begins to live up to the promise that it made to itself more than 200 years ago. That every individual is free to succeed or fail based on who they are and not what they are. That's our program for tonight. For Carole Simpson and Charles Thomas, I'm George Strait. Good night.